We have seen in the last stanza when writer was on the way to Mount Kailash. So he saw some of the nomads, those who were living in the tents, and also saw the Tibetan mastiff there. These shaggy monsters, blacker than the darkest night. So, as I have told you in the last video, the writer said they were very furious dogs, very big dogs, and now he's saying these shaggy monsters. Shaggy means very rough and hairy, very bulky. They are very heavy, hairy also. They are blacker than the darkest night. Their color was so black, it was like darkest night. Usually wore bright red collars and barked furiously with massive jaws. So, as I've already told you, they are very big dog, very giant dog, and they bark furiously, and their jaws are very massive. Massive means very big. They were completely fearless of our vehicle, and they did not afraid also. They were not scared of any vehicle coming, even the rider's vehicle. Shooting straight into our path, causing Saturn to break and swell. So he said they were directly coming to our car, and Saturn, he was also trying to drive very fast, and many a times what happened, he pressed the brake and sway. So it means that suddenly when you press the brake very hard, so your vehicle or car, it moves around. So many times it happened with Saturn also, who was the driver. He pressed the brake and he was moving and changing direction suddenly. The dog would make chase for 100 meters or so before easing off. So dogs, these mastiff, they chase the car for about 100 meters, and after that, before easing off means then they left, having seen us off the property. So when they realize, the dogs realize that okay, they have gone out of our area now, then they stop. Otherwise, they follow the vehicles till 100 meters or more. It wasn't difficult to understand why ferocious Tibetan mastiffs became popular in China's imperial court as hunting dogs. So writer realized first, for the first time he saw the Tibetan mastiff, and he realized that why these Tibetan mastiffs were very popular in China. China's imperial courts as hunting dogs. In China in ancient time in empire, they were very popular as hunting dog. Brought along the Silk Road in ancient time as tribute from Tibet. So these dogs were brought from Tibet to China as a tribute. And why they were hunting dog? They were given so much of these dogs were like royal dogs there. They were given so much of popularity there in the China, and they were kept in the empire also, in the courts of the kings who would be there in ancient time, not now. So they were very popular. So the writer understood why they were given this type of treatment in China. By now we could see snow-capped mountains gathering on the horizon. Now he said they were in the car, and he said we could see the snow-capped mountain in the horizon. Horizon, you must know, the place where it looks like the land and sky is meeting. That is known as horizon. We entered a valley where the river was white and mostly clogged with ice. Now they were in the valley, and he said there was a river was there, white river, but it was blocked. Clogged means blocked with ice, because it was so cold that river water also became ice. Brilliant white and glinting in the sunshine. It was brilliant white, pure white, and it was glinting. Glinting means shining in the sunshine. The trail hugged its bank. The trail of the river, it was touching the bank, twisting with the meanders as we gradually gained height, and the valley sides closed in. So twisting with meanders means when the river could be seen there with so many bends and twists. So it was going like that. The turns became sharper and the ride bumpier. So as they were going to the mountain area, so the writer says the turn they became sharper and the ride also bumpier, because hilly areas the roads are like that. Saturn now in third gear as he continued to climb, and the car was in third gear. The track moved away from the icy river, laboring through steeper slope that spotted big rocks daubed with patches of bright orange lichen. So what was there in the icy river? They could see the rocks were there, and in that the bright orange color lichen. Lichen is a plant which generally grows in the wall and trees and the rocks. A yellow color, this orange color plant that could be seen there. Beneath the rocks, hunks of snow clung on in the near permanent shade, and beneath this downside of the rocks, what was hanging there? Snow was hanging there, and it was looking like this is their permanent place because there was snow all around. I felt the pressure building up in my ears, held my nose, snorted and cleared them. It happens because of the air pressure. Sometimes when you go in aeroplane also you feel like that your ear they are blocked, and that the same thing happened with the writer also. We struggled around another tight bend and Saturn stopped. He had opened his door and jumped out of his seat before I realized what was going on. Snow, said Daniel as he too exited the vehicle. So suddenly Saturn stopped and he opened the door of the car and he jumped outside. And writer said before I could realize anything, Daniel also jumped outside. And he said snow, letting in a breath of cold air as he did so. And what was there? Cold air was there which writer could feel. A swath of the white stuff lay across the track in front of us. So swath means the long strip. Okay, it was like that. The track of the snow he could see from there in front, stretching for maybe 15 meters before it pattered out and the dirt trail reappeared. So for 15 meters there was only snow on the road, so they could not drive the vehicle properly, and for 15 meters the snow trail was there. After that the dirt trail reappeared, then it was mud and all. The snow continued on either side of us, so both the side there was snow, smoothing the abrupt bank on the upslope side. Upslope side means the hilly side. When we are going in the road, one side of hilly side is there, that side the snow was there. And stamping his foot from time to time to ascertain how steady it was. Okay, so the bank was steep for our vehicle to scale, so there was no way round to snow patch. So they were not able to move the car now, and I joined Daniel as Saturn stopped onto the encrusted snow and began to slither and slide forward. So Saturn was walking slowly there. Everything was covered with snow, and slither means very moving very slowly, stamping his foot from time to time to ascertain how sturdy it was. And he was checking, he was stamping his feet and he was checking that how hard this snow is. I looked at my wristwatch. We were at 5,210 meters above sea level. So writer said, I looked at the watch. Where were they? They were 5,210 meters above the sea. The snow did not look too deep to me, but the danger wasn't its depth. Daniel said, so much as its ice top layer. If we slip off, the car could turn over. So he said it's very much because when the ice is hard, the vehicle and the cars they can also slip. So he said if our car will slip, it will take a turn, it could turn over. He suggested, as we saw Saturn grab handfuls of dirt and fling them across the frozen surface. Now what he started doing, Saturn, he took the dirt, he took the mud and he started throwing it, sprinkling it on the snow. Daniel, we both pitched in, and when the snow was spread with soil, Daniel and I stayed out of the vehicle to lighten Saturn's load. So when they both also followed the same. Saturn took some mud and started throwing in the snow, and both Daniel and the writer they also did the same. And they said we were outside the vehicle and Saturn started driving. We were outside the vehicle to lighten his load. He backed up and drove toward the dirty snow. Now he tried to drive in that snow, eased the car onto its icy surface and slowly drove its length without apparent difficulty. So slowly he tried, because earlier it was snow was there and it was very hard and they were not able to drive and come over it. After that all three they took the mud and dirt and they threw this dirt in snow, and they both, Daniel and writer, they were outside the vehicle and driver Saturn was inside. Slowly he drove, though it was difficult, but slowly he came out of that. 10 minutes later we stopped at another blockage. not good, sir, Saturn announced as he jumped out again to survey the scene. So, first it happened, there was snow, they were not able to drive. Again, the same thing happened. And Saturn said he jumped outside to check now. This time, he decided to try and drive round the snow. And this time, he thought that, okay, I will try and drive round the snow. He came outside of the car, he checked it, and he decided that I am going to drive.